All set. Okay, so we're going to start tonight's meeting with just having a public hearing on the 2024-25 Code of Conduct.
Yep, so I'll take it. So we went through the required review process with all the stakeholder groups. We held 2 in-person meetings and then allowed people to provide feedback virtually to get the final document that Kelly is going to link up there for you if you can't get at the link right now. But this evening we're required each year to hold a public hearing, allow people to make public comment about the Code of Conduct. And after that public hearing, the board would take action to approve that during tonight's meeting. So I don't know, anybody who wants to provide feedback on that. We did have some lively discussions. I don't know if our board members that attended wanted to share anything or just speak to the meetings in general, or if I've said enough. I will say no major changes from last year's Code of Conduct. There's some references to faculty, staff, and teachers that we've tried to unify across the document, where in some spots folks were called support staff, some places they were called staff. We tried to make it so that that was unified in the draft that you'll have access to. Above and beyond that, there wasn't a lot of change to language. I know I'll put her on the spot, but Mrs. Hogan was also a part of that review process. Anything that we're missing that you can think of, Mrs. Hogan? Yeah, a lot of handbook conversations. So the Code of Conduct document is a policy level document. That's why it's approved by the board. And then that flows down into the handbook documents that each principal makes. So that's where we're at. And we did an awful lot of work on that last year over several meetings. So it was nice that we didn't have as many changes to make this year. We also looked at it against the workplace violence law, as well as some of the special education laws that have changed, especially discipline of special education students, and made sure that our language matched the law, and it did, even without having to adjust it. So I'm happy to have that already be in place. So we can give it a minute. If nobody's got any comments, then.
Any comments? Okay. So that will conclude that until we vote on that later. So now we'll call the meeting to order. If we stand for the pledge. Flag is right behind.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Okay, we just have a few approvals on routine items. We need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 13th. Accept and order file the minutes of the Committee on Special Education for the dates listed. And accept and order file the minutes of Committee on Preschool Education, Special Education for the dates listed. Have a motion? Amanda, Heidi, all in favor? Opposed? That carries. So tonight, we move right to the public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay. So that moves us to Mr. Ward, Superintendent.
Yes, so it's a good night with a lot of good news, a lot of good celebrations. We've got some retirees here. We've got some students here, some faculty members here. Happy to have everyone be here. But we're going to start out with our retirees. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can see 5 out there, and my vision is not the best, but we'll go down through them. We'd like to have you come up and shake Jeff's hand. We do have a memento for you. It is not $1 million check, but hopefully it is something that helps you remember Hudson Falls Central School, the time you spent here. And I do want to thank you very much for the time you spent here. I know I've only been here 3 years, and many of you were here for 20 or 30 years. So you spent a lot more time here. So thank you very much for your service. And I don't know if you had additional words to share.
I also think longevity means a lot to the board, and your commitment to this district means an immense amount to us. And I just appreciate you serving Hudson Falls community, our district. and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
We're also going to hear from our Seal of Biliteracy teachers and some students this evening. And I'm also going to have Mrs. Hogan talk a little about honor graduation. But as I said, we'll start with the most important people first, and probably the happiest people first. That's the retirees. I'm just joking. That's how I am. If you don't mind going to the next slide for me. So first up, yeah, we'll go. I think we'll go around front. Yeah. Retired security monitor. He's retiring from a lot of jobs. He's retiring and find a new job. I don't know what's next. What does it say? This legend has retired. That might be a runner-up for the retiree gift. So just all around. Really, really good. Words for right here. Public out there. Chance. Good enough. No. Moving on to social studies teacher, Syracuse graduate, resident of Salem. All right. Well, it's close over there. I tried. Very much. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for passing me the hallway just outside this door almost every single day. Thanks for giving me a hard time about all the days and not. Fabulous.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You did a great job driving the chariot for our pep rallies and all your. Good for you. How have been the first? Oh, you've been out for a little bit of time. So far, so good. I would recommend it. That's what Vince always says. I'll retirement. I would recommend it. Lizzie Fitzgerald, congratulations. Out of the Cade Center.
Thank you.
Dealing with the little people, take a special person for years and years. I have a soft spot for that.
Oh, yeah.
Deals with the little people every single day.
But they make fun.
They make you laugh and they make you cry sometimes too. Thank you so much for your words. Are there any plans for retirement?
Well,
You've got a few weeks left. Tell me, Brian, Finch is going to you really. A couple generations at a time, right? Good luck to you. Congratulations.
thank you.
So much. Thank you for being here. Next up, Mr. Dennis Kelly. Bus driver. Yeah. Thank you so much for your service. That is a very difficult job, and all these jobs. You've enjoyed it. Very Only takes a couple. All right. Part-time, 25 years ago. Now it's fine. Thank you so much for keeping our kids safe on the road all these years. I bet. I bet he's been asked that question half a dozen times already. But congratulations to you. Those were the folks that were going to be.
Yeah,
We actually had 15 retirees. We only had. We'll make sure get send off memento. I really appreciate it. We also got some cookies. We don't usually have cookies at our meetings. We have a retiree meeting. So please take a few cookies. So feel free to stay. Wow, here all night. We've got a couple over the years for that. Talk about we're going to move on. Again, one more round of applause for our retirees. So Mr. DiCaprio is going to bring up the seal of biliteracy information. I don't want to steal your thunder. Is it okay if I talk a little about what I got to see? Yeah, so I was lucky enough to be invited by the foreign language teachers to come in and listen to the presentations. I was able to do so for, I think I got in for 2 or 3 hours that day and saw many of them, not all of them. I apologize for that. But it was incredible to hear our young people being able to speak a foreign language. So I listened to some French and some Spanish presentations. They did a fantastic job. And I just want to applaud the students for the work that they did, and I want to applaud the teachers for the work they've done to bring this opportunity to our students. So I'll turn it over to Mrs. Say again? Both Mrs. Major and Mrs. Hickey. I'll turn it over to you guys. I don't know what your plan is, but I saw that you have some stuff out in the hallway too, so you guys are putting on a good show. There's a lot of food here tonight that we usually don't have. Oh, yep, and I've got the certificates for them right here. Do you want to talk about it before the certificates, or want me to do the certificates first? Yeah, do that now, then I'll do the certificate.
Other than, I've only done it in, like, but the students have to show that they can write. About a 10-minute presentation. All of our 10 minutes French with questions at the end. 10 minutes at the end. It's really great. Seven, which is the largest number.
Year was 2020 that out and everyone's mind. So our first year doing it was fully virtual with our set of that year received this by literature leaving over the last years. So fortunately, actual medallions they'll be wearing at graduation. We were able to secure today, but in that envelope came this graphic that New York State put out, and I just one thing 30 of out of 120 are one of only 33 that so only 25% of schools in the capital offer it, and we are one, which I think other our students, the fact that they rise to the occasion and that in 5 years we had year long about our so
Yes. Wow. So, not sure if everybody's here or not. Emma Albert. Not here. Okay, we'll make sure. Natalia Lopez. Congratulations to you. Chris Flores Alvarez. Brendan Harrington. Allie Gay. Anna Wizada. Wiazda.
that is everyone that is
And I don't think, and we'll just call Shannon as well, but he's not here this evening. Wiazda. Very, Anna Guiazda. Congratulations to you.
Can I just ask them to just say what their
Absolutely.
plans are for after graduation
We'll
and
have-
perhaps beyond?
You got it. Plans for next year.
College at SUNY Geneseo.
SUNY Geneseo to study
Spanish.
Spanish. All right. It worked out, right? It worked out. How about you?
Sienna for business management.
Business management. Very nice. Congratulations.
I'm going to Lemoyne College and I'm studying biochemistry with independent study.
I'm going to the Word of Life Bible Institute in Spring Lake and don't have an official major.
I'm going to SUNY Oneana for business administration.
Very nice. Anything else you want them to provide for everybody? We've put them on the spot tonight a little bit. Yeah, congratulations again. Thank you so much. I know. I had the long cord if I was Bob Barker out there. And then, so again, congratulations to our students. And we have one other item that we're highlighting tonight. And I wanted to give Mrs. Hogan just an opportunity to talk about honor graduation. You are going to have to grab a mic. Brett's got one back there. We should have that on the table. We make changes to things to enhance the opportunities for students, and this is one of those ones that I wanted the board to hear a little bit about, anybody who's watching the meeting, and certainly the folks in the room to hear a little bit more about. So I asked Mrs. Hogan if she'd take maybe 1 or 2 minutes and just talk about the changes and why and how it might have been received by students and parents and everybody who was involved.
Sure. So this year, I did an awards evening that highlighted our honor graduates as well as our junior class scholarship awards recipients. In the past, this has been done during the school day. And this year I pivoted to have pretty much the same of these two presentations combined into one evening. I felt like it would be easier in our community to have families attend in an evening rather than to miss some time during a school day. I think that it went very well. We had 24 honor graduates for this upcoming graduation, and I counted earlier, but I want to say 27 junior scholarships, and those range anywhere from Lots of them were $80,000 for Rochester RIT, or all the way down, just some people received a gift, so a book or a certificate. Students, if they choose to attend those colleges, they would be recipients of those scholarships. So it was a really nice evening to combine the two and highlight. It was by invitation, so students that they knew they were getting an award of some sort. They didn't necessarily know what scholarship. So their families, they were all welcome to come, and it just puts a little special twist on the evening. Heidi, you were there, so.
Wow,
We do.
on the way there. Well, like, 'cause this is a special night. You're
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
many of the students sitting here
yes.
for undergrad.
Yes, they were. I did receive a few emails following that from parents saying how much they appreciated, it being in the evening and making it a standalone event. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Oh yeah. So I have one other presentation. Is I believe somebody was absent last month from the meeting, but we recognized some board members who had achieved some points and were recognized by the New York State School Boards Association last month, and we said we would do it again this month. It's she was here. She was here. She got a major award. So I have a certificate from the New York State School Boards Association. It's a board achievement award that goes to Mrs. Amanda Landsman. That's for her participation in NYSBA events. To a total of they count points for board members. So up to a total of 75 points last year. So good for you and congratulations. There's a little letter there and a certificate for you. And then moving forward, our reorganizational meeting for the board is on July 9th. Prior to that, the board does have a retreat scheduled, which is June 25th. So that's what's up next for the board. That concludes what I needed to speak about tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here. You can stay for the whole meeting if you want, but if you're looking to duck out because you have something else to do, please take some cookies. Please take some cookies. And thank you so much again for being here. You're good. You can stay all night. The meeting's open. Yes, congratulations to you. Congratulations, Kim. Absolutely. Yes. Sounds good.
So before we conclude the superintendent's report, we just need a resolution on the code of conduct. So be it resolved, the Board of Education for the Hudson Falls Central School District approves the 2024-2025 code of conduct. We have a motion. Amanda, seconded by Crystal. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Okay. So we move into committees. And first, we have first, Mr. Meany.
This time of the year, it's the normal appointments and stuff. Fall and winter sports are started. And we're even filling some of the positions for the fall already. Was I supposed to read their name? No? Okay. Other than that, it's pretty routine. And if anybody has any questions. Oh, was I supposed to mention the tuition?
Yeah,
Or
so
the
we
pay?
do have something that's connected to personnel, kind of sits between personnel and audit. So Vincent, Jeff, and I spoke today, and I said we would speak to it during personnel time. There's been some questions about summer success compensation. That's the elementary school summer school program, and we know that we cooperate with BOCES on that. So we are asking the board to approve a motion this evening to supplement the compensation for summer success up to a maximum of 50 total dollars. So the pay from BOCES plus the pay from the school district will be a total of 50. Right now, it's locked at $37. That does not bring everybody all the way up to the same rate of pay and how it was calculated for the middle school and high school, but it is a step in that direction. So I wanted to let you know that's there. Kevin and I did talk yesterday about it. I don't know if and we also spoke with Larry Palchowitz about it. So conceptually, he's on board with what we're doing and what we're presenting tonight to all of you. But it brings us to a more competitive place for our staff members that are working in that summer success program. And we did talk about that a few times. I see some heads nodding. We've talked about it a few times. Kevin, anything else?
Like Dan said, it basically, I think it'll draw more of our internal people because there was a discrepancy based on the BOCES program and what we were locked into versus the middle school.
You can see it at the very bottom of the personnel portion of the agenda. And do you want me to read it? Sure. I know you're going to read it.
I can read it.
Read it, and then we can have discussion and vote.
So at this point, you want to do we don't. Second.
I think you can, and we'll do it, and we'll get it on the table and see if there's any questions or discussion. If there is, we'd have to talk about that inside of executive session. But if there is none, then you can vote now.
So be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Hudson Falls Central School District approved the supplemental compensation for teacher assigned to the Summer Success Program located at the Hudson Falls Central School District as follows. Assigned teachers will receive supplemental compensation based upon the regular school year hourly rate up to a maximum total compensation or $50 or
Of $50.
of
right.
$50. Total compensation, including normal summer success pay and supplemental pay, shall not exceed $50. We have one. Crystal, seconded by? Okay. All in favor?
I would say any discussion on
Any
that.
discussion?
Since we
Anybody
put
have
that
discussion?
on late, I want to make sure people have an opportunity.
All in favor? Opposed? That carries. So does anybody have any questions? Go by consent, personnel, agenda. Carries.
You've got one item in there
We're going to go back to that.
that you're going to table that until after
Table
executive session. Got it. The item is my contract. I don't want there to be any non-transparency about it.
And that will be executive session. We'll enter back into regular session. Next, athletics. Mr. Fitzgerald is not here. Does anybody feel comfortable covering it?
Yeah, so we had conversations about the programs and mergers. You'll see on the right there, you can see all the mergers for next year. Some other things we talked about were different coaching positions and a few vacancies. We're actually seeing the fewest number of coaching vacancies this year going into next year than we've seen in a couple of years. Pending summer shuffle. There's always summer shuffle, and we have to work through that. So I like to thank Ryan for that, and certainly thank the board for their support as well. There was, I thought maybe there'd be questions about the ice hockey. Boys ice hockey's been here for a while. We jumped into a girls ice hockey merger a few years ago. So looking at next year, we have 3 to 4 boys who will participate on the ice hockey team with the ice hockey merger. And for girls, we have 1 that's a definite, and we have 1 other that is a maybe. So we do have students participating. And when we started the girls merger and the board backed it, we did say if we were provided an opportunity for 1 young lady that was very powerful and we should do so. So I'm hoping that the board continues to support those mergers. It means a lot to those young people. And both of those teams, very successful. Very, very successful. I don't know if there's anything else to highlight. Anybody else who was at that meeting? What I have.
So you heard the recommendation by Mr. Ward. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Hudson Falls Central School District approved the following sport mergers for the 2024-2025. And that includes a merger with Fort Edward for football, It's a merger with Southlands Falls for girls varsity swimming and diving, boys varsity swimming and diving, and modified swimming and diving. It's also including a merger with Southlands Falls, Glens Falls, Corinth, and Warrensburg for the boys varsity ice hockey. And lastly, the merger for girls varsity ice hockey with Southlands Falls, Corinth, Glens Falls, Queensbury, and Saratoga Springs. We have a right, seconded by Crystal. All in favor? Opposed? That carries.
No, I'm good with athletics.
So that moves us to audit. Mrs. Ramon.
Okay, so this is the audit report, or the treasurer's report for the month of April. In April, we had 3.1 million in receipts in the general fund and 4.4 million in disbursements, leaving us a balance in the general fund of $10.2 million and a total cash on hand of $13.6 million. The extracurricular account balances are also in the packet, as well as the monthly bills. Let's see. Extracurricular account balances, there was, quite a bit of activity still in drama from the musical. And so there's just some general activity in there, which is always good to see. We do have a resolution for a budget transfer. Kevin, do you want to, can you budget transfer?
There's a rather large budget transfer that we have in the packet. It's for $500,000. You can also see the one that we spoke about last month, for 25 is listed there too. And it's the same exact item as we talked about last month with private placements, special ed, the prices of those placements. We've had to transfer money in to cover. Our auditors basically want our categories to be in the positive. So whenever we have these additional expenses, we do have to move money in to cover those expenses. So that's where that's coming from. These expenses have been accounted for in next year's budget because we started this flowing this year. So at this point in time, we do have enough funds to cover it. We're covering that with the budget for the remainder of this year.
The budget did pass. We had about an 80% passing rate, which is excellent to see that kind of support from the community. About 350 voters came out, so we certainly do appreciate the community's support as we are trying to provide good opportunities for our students. Then we are also working through the internal audit. Do you also talk to that, Kevin?
Each year we have to have an internal audit done. It's done by Alan Prindle, who is actually a retired state controller's auditor of many, many years. So it's good to have him come in and take a look at different items, and he basically will do some sampling around, and he'll pick one area to do his audit, and then writes an audit report here with you and any recommendations that he has. He finished up today. He basically went into purchasing, is where he ended up. Basically looking at purchase orders, supporting documentation, things like that. So he finished up today. He will be providing us an audit report, I'm guessing, in 2 or 3 weeks. We have it before the July meeting. We'll share it. If that will be for the August meeting. Now this is the internal auditor. The external auditors are showing up in the next couple of weeks to start doing their sampling. So it's kind of a different approach on how they attack an audit. Just so the board is aware, one of the things that the internal auditor was looking at, had discussions with myself, Mr. Ward, and several different people, was the driver's ed program and how we acquire cars. And basically what that is that was for many years we just had ringers, and we went directly to ringers, and we got the same car for many years from them. But after they went out of business, it was very difficult with even buying driver's ed cars. That first year in 2020, we were up to about a week before the program was supposed to start, where we didn't have cars. So we did end up finding a place to do the cars, and he's going to have a couple recommendations for us on exactly how he would like to see that drawn out in contract form for the basically acquiring the cars and then giving the cars back. So it's just something that tightens up our accounting and protects us for when like the state controller comes in. We'll have all of that. So that's basically it. There's just going to be a small in the
Kevin? I think that's all I had. Did anyone have questions on treasurer's report or that? Okay, so we just have the resolution.
So the first resolution, we just need a motion to approve the April treasurer's report. Seconded by? Second. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. We also need a motion to approve the budget transfer of $500,000. Second by? Heidi, all in favor? Opposed? That carries. Then move to transportation. Dr.
You can see the DOT report there and the trip report. Transportation's always talking about workforce, so we heard from our 3 drivers tonight that'll be retiring. Congratulations again to them. The good news is by the time of this meeting tonight, we probably are going to have 2, maybe 3 people licensed to fill those positions. So I'm sure we'll be following up on that next month, but looks like we have at least 2 that are licensed and ready to go, and a 3rd, hopefully, like I said, should be in good shape. All of our buses are currently on the road and operational. And as always, there's the gasoline, diesel, and propane price at the bottom.
Question? Transportation to buildings and grounds.
Yep, so we spent some time talking about timelines for the energy performance contract. You'll see in under buildings and grounds, you're also going to see the contracts for schoolhouse construction. That's Eric Robert, the gentleman who you saw and who was here for the presentations to the public. We also have the contract in there for Marsh Associates, which is Steve Wickman. So we have both of those in there, asking you to approve those tonight. So that we can continue moving forward with the project. If there's questions about those, we could discuss those in the executive session as well, because they have to do with the employment of specific firms and specific individuals. But you have them there. Nice to have the things moving forward and talk about we talked some more about the phasing of the projects and how the financing was going to work. Kevin and I have had some follow-up as well with Bernie Gonigan's office since that meeting on financing of the EPC as well as the other projects going forward. But most of our conversation was about EPC and capital outlay project, those smaller projects in between projects. So that's where we are. Nothing major to report other than EPC work is going to be happening. So when you see stuff around this summer happening, it's not the project that folks just voted on. It's the one that we talked about last year, because everything is lagging, 30, 40 weeks behind at least by the time it gets approved by the state of New York, which everybody's trying to do business, everybody's busy, but that's just how it operates. Is there anything, you were at that one, right, Vince? Anything that I might have missed? Good, Kevin?
So we do have 2 resolutions. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Hudson Falls Central School District approves schoolhouse construction as our construction management firm for our $54.1 million capital project approved by voters on May 27, 2024, pending final review by our legal counsel. Okay, second by Vince. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. The last resolution, be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Hudson Falls Central School District approves Marsh Associates as our architecture firm for our $54.1 million capital project approved by the voters on May 27, 2024, also pending final review by our legal counsel. Amanda, seconded by? Crystal, all in favor? Opposed? That carries. And last but not least, no, actually, no, we have policy.
Were you going to skip me again?
Well, you weren't here last month, and, I just,
You might as well have skipped me because policy committee did not meet this month. So that's a quick report. No new
No new
policy.
that would be. Focus.
So, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They're removing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we working, but I didn't.
I did not see anything on the most recent list that came out. I did the same thing you did.
Yeah.
I looked through both the Senate and Assembly bullet lists,
Yep.
so I did not see us there. As you know, we made a request, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes bullet aid comes later on in the year. Sometimes there's other opportunities where legislators will reach out. We have been fortunate in previous years for that to be the case, where our Assemblywoman reached out to us and we had an opportunity to get $50,000. So we'll wait and see. And we certainly thank both the Insteck and Kerry Warner for their efforts on behalf of all school districts. But there was no Hudson Falls listed in those lists.
I just.
I have there's a few things that happened that will affect schools towards the end of session. I won't go into all of them, but there will be a conversation about how the max temp bill affects school districts. That will be fleshed out over the next few months, probably exactly how it's going to affect school districts. Because when we come back in September, we'll likely have some classrooms that are above the thresholds if we have a normal September. So we'll have to be talking about that at the building level with Kevin and Buildings and Grounds, Dave McKeegan on there. Workplace violence, there's a couple of changes to that law, minimal changes, but they'll affect us. And also, one of the bills on lockdowns did not pass. However, the state education department changed some of the regulations for lockdowns anyways. So you guys have heard those as discussion points throughout the legislative session. Once the dust settles and we get all the actual details, we're going to implement them here as necessary. But that's fresh off the presses. I think a bill was passed. Kerry Warner was a sponsor of it. That would shorten the period of time for which transportation aid is paid to a district for zero emission school buses. So that's good news. Electric school buses, there's a lot of challenges that are bad news that we have to deal with, but it's good news that if that mandate stays in place, that the aid will be paid under a shorter amount of time, where originally the legislature and the governor had proposed a longer amount of time, which basically meant you'd be paying for buses after they were out of service, which didn't make a heck of a lot of sense. So I'm glad to see that bill. But that has to still go to the governor to be signed, but it passed both houses in the last couple of days. And that's what I had for right off the press and stuff.
So that concludes our committee meeting. So we do have a need for executive session to discuss Dan's contract. With the council vote at the end when we enter back into regular session. So I just need a motion to